For the longest time, when we picture the Amazon, we thought of the ultimate wilderness, a vast, untouched jungle. But it turns out, new discoveries are forcing us to completely rethink that picture, revealing a story that was hidden right under the canopy.
So what if, hidden beneath all those trees, lay the ruins of a sprawling, ancient civilization? I'm talking a whole world of cities, pyramids, and canals, all just lost to time for centuries.
See, the prevailing idea, even among scientists, was that the Amazon soil was just too poor to support large populations. It was this beautiful, sure, but fundamentally empty landscape.
But there were hints. From the air, people started noticing these faint, geometric shapes. In the Bolivian Amazon, you could see these long, straight lines, almost invisible, but definitely not natural. Something was down there. The big question was, what? To figure that out, archaeologists had to find a way to peek underneath that massive green canopy.
And for decades, this was a huge problem. You could spend months on foot, literally hacking your way through the undergrowth, and you'd only map a tiny little piece of land. You'd never get the big picture. The forest was really good at keeping its secrets.
But then, Lidar came along, and this was a total game changer. Imagine flying a helicopter over the jungle, shooting millions of laser pulses down to the ground. This tech lets researchers digitally just peel away the trees. And what's left is this perfect, super detailed 3D map of the bare Earth. It's basically like giving archaeologists X-ray vision.
And the difference this makes is just incredible. Look at this. A grueling 7-month survey on the ground produced that blurry image on the left. But with LiDAR, they got that crystal clear map on the right in a fraction of the time. What was just a vague shape before was now, without a doubt, a complex settlement.
Okay, so now they have this new superpower. What did they actually find? Well, it was something nobody was expecting.
They found cities. Seriously, not just a small settlement, but a massive, planned urban center called Kotoka. The LiDAR maps showed everything: a central platform, ceremonial mounds, defensive ditches, and causeways radiating outwards like spokes on a wheel. This was the busy hub of a forgotten people, the Casarabe. And these weren't some short-lived experiment. The Casarabe culture thrived for nearly 1,000 years, from around 500 to 1400 AD. Think about that. While the Tiwanaku Empire was rising in the Andes and medieval kingdoms were at war in Europe, these people were building cities right in the middle of the Amazon. And they built big. At the heart of their cities were these monumental structures, including conical pyramids that were up to 22 meters tall. That's like a 7-story building. The sheer scale of this is just immense. The largest site, Kotoka, covers 315 hectares. For perspective, that's larger than Vatican City and Monaco put together.
This kind of construction takes a staggering amount of labor. Just to build the core of Kotokal, the Casarabe people moved over 500,000 cubic meters of earth. To put that in perspective, that is 10 times the amount of earth moved to build the famous Akapana Pyramid at Tiwanaku, a major Andean capital.
Okay, so you don't build something on that scale by accident. This points to a really organized, complex society, one that went way beyond the walls of a single city. Because the LiDAR scan showed that these urban centers weren't isolated at all. Nope, they were the hubs of this huge regional network, all linked together by these raised, dead-straight causeways that stretched for kilometers through the landscape.
And it was all organized. There was a clear hierarchy. You had the 2 main centers at the top, Kotokoa and Lindivar. Then you had secondary centers, then tertiary centers, all the way down to small hamlets. This 4-tiered system is a dead giveaway of sophisticated regional planning and a complex social structure.
And to support what must have been a large population, the Casarabe basically engineered their entire landscape. They built this massive water management system of canals and reservoirs to control the seasonal floods, which would have been crucial for their farming and fishing.
So, what does all of this mean? What does it change about the story of the Amazon and really the story of South America?
Well, for starters, it means we're not talking about a few isolated towns. What we're looking at here is a dense, continuous settlement system that covers at least 4,500 square kilometers. This was a thriving, populated, and carefully managed landscape. This discovery just completely shatters that old idea of an empty Amazon. As the lead researchers put it in their paper, our results put to rest arguments that Western Amazonia was sparsely populated. It's just definitive proof of a complex society thriving long before Europeans ever arrived. But maybe the most profound takeaway here isn't just that there were cities in the Amazon, it's the kind of cities they were.
See, this wasn't some copy of the dense, crowded cities you'd see in the Andes or Central America. The Casarabe created their own, unique model, a kind of garden urbanism, you could call it. A sprawling network of monuments, homes, and managed green spaces, all perfectly adapted to the tropics. It's the first time we've seen anything like it in the South American lowlands, and it's changing the very definition of what a city can be.
And that leaves us with one last, incredible thought. The Casarabe culture flourished for 1,000 years, then vanished, and its sprawling cities remained completely hidden under the jungle for more than 600 years. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other lost worlds are still out there, just waiting for us, right beneath the trees?